Today, we're diving into Pakistan Petroleum Limited, or PPL. And look, this isn't just any old energy company. For over 70 years, it's been a foundational pillar of Pakistan's economy, literally the engine fueling the nation's growth. To really get a sense of PPL's scale, just think about this number. The company provides over 20% of Pakistan's entire natural gas supply. That is a massive, massive footprint. It makes them absolutely central to the country's economy and, the daily lives of millions of people.
So, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll get a handle on just how big this company is. Then, we'll rewind to the discovery that changed everything, the Sui gas revolution. After that, we'll peek inside their day-to-day operations, see how they're branching out beyond just oil and gas, and finally, look at what the future holds.
All right, let's dive right in. What exactly makes PPL an energy giant? We're going to start by breaking down its sheer scale and why it's so important in the industry. Okay, so at its core, PPL is a state-owned enterprise. That means the government of Pakistan is the majority shareholder. Its whole mission is to find and produce the nation's oil and gas. And here's the critical part. It is the single largest producer of natural gas in the entire country.
And if you want to talk numbers, well, the 2024 financials really paint the picture, don't they? We're talking $1 billion in revenue and over $3 billion in total assets. This isn't just an energy company. It's a financial powerhouse that plays a huge, huge role in the national economy.
But to really understand PPL today, you have to go back to its origin story. And this isn't just some boring corporate history. It's about a single discovery that completely reshaped an entire nation. We're talking about the Sui gas revolution. So it all kicks off in 1950, when PPL was formed using the assets of the old Burma Oil Company. But the real game-changing moment, the one that put them on the map, came just 2 years later with the incredible discovery of the Sui gas field. Fast forward to 1997, the government steps in as the majority owner, and then in 2004, PPL goes public, letting private investors buy into this national asset for the very first time.
This quote right here, it just says it all. The discovery of Sui gas was the catalyst for Pakistan's industrial birth. Suddenly, there was this cheap, reliable, homegrown energy source. It shifted the whole country away from expensive imported coal and oil, powering factories, homes, and businesses everywhere.
We've seen the history, we've seen the scale. So now let's pop the hood and take a look at the engine room. How does PPL actually get all of that energy out of the ground?
This comparison shows the company's evolution perfectly. On one hand, you have the legendary Sui gas field, right? The 1952 discovery that started everything, which is now, naturally, in its depletion phase. Basically, its production is slowing down. And then on the other hand, you have Kandhkot, which is still a vital hub for generating power today. But PPL's reach is much, much wider than just the fields they run themselves. The company also holds what are called working interests. Think of it as ownership stakes in 23 other fields that are managed by its partners. It's a smart strategy that creates this truly nationwide network of energy production.
Okay, so as we start to widen our focus again, we can see that PPL is really thinking about the long game. With its legacy fields getting older, the company is strategically moving beyond what it's always done. This part is all about what comes next, beyond oil and gas.
And this really shows PPL's forward-thinking strategy perfectly. It's a clear, three-step evolution. First, get really, really good at finding resources at home. Second, take that expertise and expand internationally. And now, the third step, diversify into a completely new sector, minerals. A perfect example of this diversification in action is Bolan Mining Enterprises. It's a 50-50 joint venture between PPL and the government of Balochistan. What did they do? They focus on mining industrial minerals like barite, which, funnily enough, are essential for drilling new oil wells. Pretty smart, huh? And PPL's new frontiers are seriously broad. Internationally, they're operating in the UAE and have assets in Yemen. In mining, they are a key player in the massive Reko Didak project, which is one of the world's largest copper and gold mines. And crucially, they invest back into the community through their welfare trust, running things like the Sui Field Hospital, which serves around 300,000 patients every single year. So, with all that going on, how is PPL actually positioning itself for the future? Let's take a look at its recent wins, some of the hurdles it's faced, and the ultimate question the company has to answer now.
Well, the path forward is already being paved. PPL is still finding success in its core business. It announced new oil and gas discoveries back in 2019, and it's also building these really important international alliances, like the big partnership with Turkish Petroleum for offshore exploration that's kicking off in 2025.
But look, the road hasn't always been smooth. A significant challenge was the 2012 acquisition of MND's operations. It was a deal that faced a lot of scrutiny over its valuation and ultimately led to financial losses and official investigations. It remains a really complex chapter in the company's history.
And that brings us to the big central question. PPL's first 70 years were defined by that one legendary discovery at Sui. But with those fields now declining, can its new frontiers, everything from offshore blocks in the UAE to giant gold mines, can that be enough to power Pakistan for the next 70 years? That is the challenge, and of course the opportunity that lies ahead.